How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Dad Bod Garage. Today we're going to be replacing some injector connectors on this car. So this is a 2007 Volkswagen Rabbit once again, and the problem we have is, as you can see here, all of these connectors have broken over time. And we've got one good one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to take these off. We're going to be replacing them with some aftermarket ones that I got on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. And so what you're going to need to do to replace these connectors on this car, and this goes for many connectors on the car. Now, you can order a special tool called a repinning tool, and you can actually push the pins out on the plugs and push them back into the new connectors. I don't have that tool. This is an urgent job because the car is actually not running right now because of this. So let me show you what you're going to need today. All right, to start, I got a bag of these connectors. I've already verified that it fits. They're all brand new. I got a 4-pack of them off of Amazon. The color codes do not match the stock color codes, but that's okay because we're not going to be removing the entire wire, so we can trace them back if we ever have to. Now, they do come with these butt connectors. I don't believe in using these, so instead we're going to be using a soldering iron and solder. So we are going to be retinning these wires. We also have some heat shrink tubing. We got a little butane torch to shrink the tubing, and we also have some spiral wrap to re-protect the wires that we're going to be cutting out. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put on my head mount so I can use both hands through this process and give you guys an up-close view of exactly how this process goes. Let's get at it. Alright, so what we're going to start by doing is we need to remove this PCV connector. We'll go ahead, we'll start by pulling this guy off. You got to squeeze these two tabs together and that comes right out. Okay, now that'll give us access to the wire loom. Normally you would need a screwdriver to pop these connectors out, but unfortunately in my situation they're all broken. So we just kind of lift and pull one by one. This one might need a little assistance. There we go. And this one actually still has the clip. Now if you look closely here, if you just kind of push back on it, it'll come right out. And then we got to remove this connector back here. Now, that gives us easy access to these wires. Now, we're going to have to go ahead and cut the wires loose so we can have access to them so that we can splice on our new connector. Okay, so very carefully, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut back. Okay, it's very important, obviously, you don't cut the wires. So let's go ahead. That's why I'm cutting up, so I don't actually accidentally cut my wires. Now I'll replace this with some electrical tape after, but there's no way of saving this stuff. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut these wires right here, and then we'll splice in the new ones in the same location. Okay, so we've got these 4 here, down to here. I'm going to give myself a little extra room, so I'll cut it after this connection point. So we'll do it, how about here? And you'll notice I'm cutting one wire at a time. I have absolutely no need to cut all 4 at the same time. Okay, now we'll use our quick strips here. Okay, that's those 4. Now if you look closely on here, you'll see a 1, 2, 3, and 4 on that plug. And that corresponds with the 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So I'm going to cross these wires to their respected cable. So our number 1 is going to be red with a green stripe. Our number 2 is going to be solid orange. Our number 3 is going to be signal wire, and number 4 looks like it's ground, which is orange with a green stripe. Kind of bring the wires in together like this. We twisted them around, and then we preheated the wire with our soldering iron, and then we introduced the solder into it, and that seemed to work perfect. All right, on to the last one. I can always take these, instead of going straight into the connector like that, I can take these, come down, and come back. All right, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. So that's actually what I'm gonna try to do with this one. I'm gonna give myself a whole bunch of extra room here. So what I'll do is I'm going to strip these, much like the other ones. And we'll go through this whole process. I'm not going to twist them, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it's the same exact color code across for every single one in my situation. So I'm going to cut them really close this time, because I want as much wire as I can get in this situation here. Okay, now you can see that, cut them close, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can still see my color code. All right, I'm gonna lay that right there for a good reference. I'm gonna grab my heat shrink. And I apologize for the fan noise, but there's no way I can do this without the fan. All right. Send my heat shrink down. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll send that down to the bottom so it doesn't get hot and pre-melt on us. Let's go ahead, let's get these wires stripped. All right, I know I need some more juice here to cut these. Now, this is a situation that I'm not really happy with. I only got a tiny little bit of wire here. So I'm gonna kind of straighten these out. Here's my signal wire. All right. You want to make sure you don't cut the strands. My auto strippers won't get in there, so I'm going to have to cut these by hand. And, alright, bada bing, bada boom, we got all those. Alright, I don't need strippers anymore. Put those down on the ground. We don't want to twist these. Alright, so we know one is red with a green stripe. There's that guy. There's one. Once again, we're going to kind of fray them a little bit. Get them to intertwine just like that. And then we're going to take the connection and we're going to twist them. Okay, twist it really good. Make sure they're, look at that, look at that. That's beautiful. I wish it would just stay like that. Let's grab our soldering iron. We're going to preheat our wire. We're going to get a little bit of tin on here. And I'm going to watch that tin and I'm going to wait for it to soak in. And as soon as I see it soak in, I'm going to go to town. There we go. Now I got some tin on it. There she goes. Alright, we'll run it back and forth a little bit. Bada bing. We'll flick our solder and bam. I like it. Alright, 3 more times and this job is done. Okay, So our number 2 wire is the solid orange, and that's this guy. Kind of fray our wires just a little bit, get them in there. And then let's grab our, normally would you use a heat gun, but mine decided that it was calling it quits tonight. And let's get the back side a little bit. Ooh, hot, hot tamale. All right, so now before I get too far ahead of myself, I want to go ahead and just plug these in really quick, fire her up, and make sure we did a good job before I clean it all up. So we'll go ahead, we'll feed this back through. We'll plug in our number 1. Our number 2, number 3, number 4, and cylinder number 5. Now I know this looks a little messy. We're going to clean this up. Not a problem. Now, got everything plugged in. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Purrs like a kitten. Let's go ahead and let's clean this up. And the beautiful thing about this stuff is I can come back and undo this if I need. And I don't have to worry about tape melting and all that other jazz. So I'm going to speed through this for you so you can get an idea what it looks like all cleaned up. Clip. This got a little ugly here. This guy comes out here. And clip, clip. And clip, clip. Oh. Clip. Yep, that was broken. And then we will slowly get these back in. And you want to hear that click. That's what we're looking for. Alright, 2 more. And last one. All right, they're all in. So anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. Until next time, see ya.